All right, this is an extra tank of black Moscows that I've been growing out. There's quite a few in here. Most of them are regular fin females. I have a few like this male that got nipped up a little bit by the other fish, because this is kind of like a perfect video to show you of having too many fish in the tank. So this is definitely a guppy don't, but hey, it's working. I have to do water changes a little more frequently. And these are really nice. I imported these initial strain from 2 different breeders in Asia around 2005 or 6 or so, back when a full black guppy was just really a rumor that nobody believed, because the regular type of guppies that were black, half black, if they would get entirely black, the pigment, something about that would kill the fish, some kind of cancer or some kind of something that's way beyond me, would kill them. So nobody believed that full black guppies existed. So after a while, I crossed both of the ones I got, both strains, and this one's been very, really very dependable. I get once in a while I get a 3/4 black, and I've culled them. And what's ended up happening is they usually turn completely black, except they don't get black for mine under the, I guess, the stomach area. As you can see on this one, I'm trying to focus in on. Now, in some people's tanks, they could look blue or green. It's got something to do with the Moscow makeup, where some of them end up just looking different colors in different water. So there's not a lot probably known about how these were created, but for a while I was getting something which was called a tiger Moscow, and that was an incredible fish, but it was true breeding once I separated them, but I couldn't keep that line going. I had it for a couple years. I have some pictures somewhere on one of the websites somewhere. I'll have to find them. But anyway, that's the extra tank of black Moscows. These are, see if I can get myself down on the ground here. This is a tank I'm growing out of the red-blue grass Metalheads. This is going really well. You can see there's another long fin female in there. Actually, there's a few of them. It's like a swallow type thing. There's one there, there's one there. And the males so far are all looking like they'll be bluegrass, but you never really know, because as they age, you can get the red coming in. So these are apparently some kind of a swallow. I'll try to steady my hand a little bit, which isn't easy when you're holding the camera. But these are very cool. I'll probably start selling some of these soon, now that I see that they breed true. The Metalhead part right now, since it's daytime and I just put the lights on, it's looking like a little bit of a purplish thing. So, but I'm really enjoying something I came up with from a cross. And this is my high-tech thing of how I made the cross. So it started with a yellow Delta male and a red lace snakeskin female. And this is what I got out of that, which is really nothing like either one. So that's what I mean. When you do some crosses, you get some interesting stuff. So I really like what I ended up with. Not really sure how yellow and red makes blue. I don't really think it works that way. But this one's got the Metalhead thing going. One other thing I'll go over is I have a lot of guppy books. This might be boring for some people. Actually, most of my videos might be boring for some people. But this is one of the initial guppy. This is a copy of it. One of the first ones by Albert Klee. A friend of mine had it and made some copies. It's an excellent book. I mean, it's obviously dated. I don't know when it was printed. Probably in the 60s or so. But it's good stuff. This one is something I bought from a guy who was really active in the hobby for a while. I think he helped start up the IGEE, and his name is Philip Shattuck. Very nice guy. It's a lot about breeding. I'll be honest with you, it's more advanced than my brain can handle. Pretty good book, I will say. And he's got interesting observations on a lot of things. He's a scientist that knows more about genetics than I will ever know. This is the new one, Breeding Show Guppies. It's by Brian George Chin. He's more or less the official photographer for the IFGA. I like this book a lot. Brian's a really great guy. It's beautiful pictures in it and a lot of information. It's a good one. This is another one by Philip Shattuck that I bought, and it's got some pictures of guppies you really never see anywhere. I think Philip may have been the one that came up with the glass belly guppy. Anyway, this one was called the Guppy Color Bible, and I'm not sure if any of these are still available online, but nice stuff. And whoever Pocket Cine Publishing. Now, a friend of mine got some of these books for me from Japan. He had a harmonica player, Steve Geiger, excellent harmonica player. And these are nice. I can't read them since they're in Japanese. I have another friend that named Mike, who's got a overheated fish house. A lot of you may have heard of him. And he works for, I think, the number 12 rated Japanese car company. Kia, is it? Or I think it's that other one, Subaru, that most of their cars need tow trucks. I think you get one when you buy one. So maybe he can read it. I don't know. I think he can only read Japanese menus. This is another one, Guppy Base Book. And this is by this guy. I have no idea what that says. But with these, there are some, let me see if I can get this. Sorry about the camera work. I only have two arms. But this is good. It's got some great pictures. I have no idea if it's got great information because I can't read Japanese. And, but other than that, I mean, it's a high gloss pages. And it's written in Japanese, so I can't read it, and I have no idea what the heck they're saying. This one, I think, is by Noboru Iwasaki, who's an excellent breeder in Japan. There's a lot of ads in the beginning. And a beautiful fish. Some things that we haven't seen in the United States yet. I don't know how old this book is because everything's in Japanese. It's very nice. I wish I could read it. Maybe I'll learn how. This is the only page I understand, actually. It's main reasons. This is the American book by Noboru Iwasaki. And this book is also, this is great. This has a lot of information on breeding, on selecting for trying to make your own crosses. This is one I highly recommend. It used to go for a lot of money, and now you can get it pretty cheap. I don't know what happened, but there's a lot of diagrams, a lot of genetic information. This is an excellent book. Highly recommend this one if you can find it. I don't get any money for it. Sometimes I sell them on aquabid or eBay. This is another great one. This was Lou Wasserman, who is a fantastic New York breeder, who is no longer in the hobby. I think he's still around, but I have no idea. This book is from the 70s, How to Raise and Show Guppies, and that was primarily IFGA. This one is not such a great book. This is the second one by Stan Schubel, who's one of the best guppy breeders and ambassadors for the hobby. Sadly, he just passed away a couple of months ago, which is a huge loss to the hobby. This is a basic book. They did use some of the pictures from his prior book, which I'll tell you is the absolute best guppy book to buy, bar none. And that is this one, Proper Care of Guppies. It's long out of print from Tropical Fish Hobbyist Magazine. And this is a great book. Everything you want about breeding, selection, feeding, the works. He's a fantastic guy. I did get to meet him a couple times at some IFGA shows. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, and he raised and sold some of the best guppies you'll ever see, and you still ever see. There's some people still selling them, the lines of them. This is an older book, not a great one, by Wilfred Wittern, called Guppies. And not a great picture right there. It's a very thin book, but it's got some pretty good pictures in it. And it's in English, so I can actually read it. It's an old book. I think it's from the 70s. And it's just kind of interesting. You can see some fish that are no longer in the guppy hobby, and you can also see some that are kind of around now. And you would think, geez, I never heard of these before. Some of them obviously had history from a long time ago. And it's interesting. I enjoy reading these books when I can. There are some females. You don't see females too often with tails that large. Very small dorsal, which is kind of normal. But excellent books. If you're into guppies at all, and for a hobby, this is something. These books are something you'd want to get. Anyway, thanks for watching and putting up with any of the boring parts. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one.